Hey lovelies, after a few attempts at Toto, I finally found the right recipe and I'll be sharing that with you today.
Y'all better can't cook. Ticket that you pay up, pretend look you want to live a restaurant and come done man bank book. Cook, recipe book.
These are all the ingredients needed, but of course I'll be leaving the link to the full detailed recipe in the description box and you can check that out on my website. So let's start by creaming butter and sugar. And the butter is salted, by the way. So once the butter and the sugar are nice and together, I'm going to be using a hand whisk here to cream everything. You can use a regular hand whisk and cream this just once it gets nice and a little bit fluffy, or it's nice and combined like this, then it's good to go. Now it's time to add the eggs. I've already removed what I call the eyes of the eggs. Yes, that's not the correct name. I think it's called chalaza, but I've already removed those and whisk the egg a little, beat the eggs a little. So now to the eggs, I'm going to be adding some white rum, Jamaican white overproof rum. Add that in, then I'm just going to use a fork and mix this nice and together. And once I'm through with that, I'll be adding the eggs, half of the egg and rum mixture to the creamed butter and sugar, and I'll just continue with the hand mixer to just mix everything in. Alright, I'm through with that, so now I'm going to add some vanilla extract. Then I'll be going in with some milk. You can use whole milk, cow's milk. I'm using right now, this milk is soy milk because that's what I have. But whole milk, cow's milk would, be better. Well, this came out perfect, so I didn't have a problem using the soy milk. So if that's what you have, use the soy milk. Mix everything together once more. Then once you're through with that, you can set this aside. Now it's time for the dry ingredients. This is simple. I have here some all-purpose flour. Next, I'm going to add some baking powder. Then I'll be going in with cinnamon and nutmeg. You can use freshly grated nutmeg, that would be better, but I never had the fresh one. So now I'm just going to use my whisk and combine this just so everything is nice and evenly distributed. Then once I'm through with that, the next thing is I'll be adding this dry ingredients to the wet ingredients, and I'll be adding that in 2. So I added half of the dry ingredients. I'm just going to cut and fold, mix everything together. You can still use your hand whisk here, but I'm just using a spatula to just mix and fold here. Cut and fold, that is. In with the next half. And this consistency is just perfect. I've been trying to make Toto for the longest while, but every time I've just never gotten the right texture like I do now. So I sat and I kind of tweaked the recipe and I loved it. So now I'm going to add the freshly grated coconut. This is preferred. This is what they would use in Jamaica, but of course if you don't have fresh coconut, you can always use unsweetened coconut flakes, the fine ones. So I'm still cutting and folding here. As I said, the batter is perfect. It's not too wet, it's not too dry. The batter is kind of giving me like a pudding vibe. So I'm through with all the mixing and stuff like that. So now I'm going to add this to a greased and floured tin. This is a square tin. I greased this with coconut oil. You don't have to use coconut oil. Then I just dusted it with some flour, remove the excess flour, and then I'm just going to add everything in. And once you add everything in, you just need to, shake this a bit or tap it down on the table, so to remove all air bubbles and to get this nice and smooth. I'll be baking this for 40 minutes in an electric oven at 150 degrees Celsius. If you're using a regular oven, then it will take about 30 minutes. So you can check on it after 30 minutes, and once you insert something in the middle and it comes out clean, then you know it will be ready. So I'm going to put mine in now, and voila, here it is, nice and smooth. It didn't burn or anything. So I'm just going to test this with a toothpick just to show you guys, because I already did that. Nice and clean. I'll leave this to cool down for about 15 minutes, and it came out so good. It didn't stick to the tin. So now I'm just going to cut this up into some small, not so perfect squares. And texture is everything. This was so yummy. I got the perfect texture. It wasn't salty. Everything was just on point. I found the right recipe for my Toto. Loved it. This recipe will definitely not disappoint you guys, trust me. I've been trying this for the longest time and it worked out. So the flavor top tier, the texture excellent. It was just so good. So of course, if you like the video, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, share the video, subscribe to the channel, turn your post notifications on. Visit my website at roma'skitchen.net for the full recipe. Thank you so much for watching. Until next video.